Okay, we're going to go to page 145 in grammar. Did you guys notice we're getting close to the back of the book? Not too many more lessons left. We go to 30 and that's it. So week 30. So this is page 145 and we're going to talk about adjectives, even though it says learn it. You already know about adjectives and commas, but we're going to talk about specific things about that. So it says in week 3, way back, like when we first started the class, we learned that an adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. Often two or more adjectives come before a noun. The adjectives are coordinate if each adjective independently describes the noun that it follows. It's called a coordinate adjective. It says a comma is used to separate items in a sentence. Use a comma to separate coordinate adjectives because the order of coordinate adjectives is not important. The adjectives are separated with a comma. So you're going to use a comma. There's a little test that you can use to determine whether or not the adjectives are coordinate. Another type of adjective you're going to learn about is cumulative. And let me just, we're going to learn about that next week. Cumulative. So you're going to learn, you already know about adjectives, you know what they are, but there's different types now when you have a list of adjectives. So there's a little test right here you can do. It says 2 tests help determine whether the adjectives before a noun are coordinate. Can you reverse their order? That's one test. Second test is, can you add and between them? So you're going to try that. Can you reverse them? And can you add and between them? If you can, that means they're coordinate adjectives. And you need a comma. So if you answer yes, the adjectives are coordinate, use a comma. Here's the example. They entered the untouched, thick forest. So they already labeled the adjective untouched and thick. Those are both describing the forest. And then you're going to try the two tests here. Are they coordinate adjectives? Do they need a comma? Reverse the order. They already did it for you right here. The thick, untouched forest. Yeah, that works. Yes, you can reverse the order. Add and between the adjectives. The untouched and thick forest. Yes, you can add and. It still sounds good. So you're listening to how it sounds. When you reverse the words or put and between them, does it still sound okay? For these, the answer is yes. Next week, we're going to learn the other type of adjectives where that doesn't work. Okay, then this will make more sense to you. But for now, you're just going to learn coordinate adjectives. And for this week in your grammar, you will put commas between them like this. They entered the untouched, comma, thick forest. Even though there's only 2 adjectives, you're still going to put a comma between. You know, the rule is A, comma, B, comma, and C, comma. When we have 3 things listed, use commas. Usually when you have 2 things listed, you don't need a comma. But since we don't have the word and here, you do need a comma for this. Okay, so sometimes those rules have exceptions. That's why English is so hard to learn. Thick and untouched are coordinate adjectives and separated with a comma. So all you're going to do is add a comma between coordinate adjectives. Here's another example at the very bottom. Marian was a courageous, comma, thoughtful maiden. And to do the test, to check it, can you reverse them? Could you say Marian was a thoughtful, courageous maiden? Yeah. Can you put and in between? Marian was a courageous and thoughtful maiden? Yes. By the way, if there is an and here, then you don't need a comma. But because there's no and written here, a comma goes between. It's just the test to see if it still sounds okay, and it does. So that's how you test it to see if it's coordinate adjectives. Okay, so that's it for that lesson. We're going to go on to the practice page next. This is page 147. And And how about Grayson? How about you read it today?
The stranger, who was still annoyed because of his unjust hard thrashing, did not readily agree.
Okay, good. Thrashing is the vocabulary word. It sounds like it could be a verb. Because thrashing means like flailing, like if you don't know how to swim and you're in the water and you're like thrashing around. But because we have an adjective right before it, this is actually going to be a noun. Thrashing, harsh thrashing. It's a thing, the way it's worded in this sentence. But thrashing means like whipping or flailing. So because it's harsh thrashing, it becomes a noun. So let's check vocabulary there. There's one article right at the beginning. Go ahead and label that. And then JC, what about the two nouns?
Stranger
Good.
and thrashing.
And thrashing. Very good. The adjectives, Grayson?
Unjust,
Yes.
harsh,
Good. Who's thrashing?
the stranger.
Yeah, but right here it's telling who
His.
yeah, his thrashing. Yeah, who does it belong to? It's his. So that becomes an adjective. And then there's one more word that describes, it's kind of like a feeling word. It's describing the stranger.
Annoyed.
Yes, annoyed is actually an adjective. It's describing the stranger. And then we've got three adverbs. JC, where are those?
Still
Yes, good. That is an adverb.
was
That's going to be a verb. So not was. There is one ly in here.
readily.
Readily, good. Oops. And then right before that, that's also an adverb.
Not.
Not is an adverb. Did not agree readily. So this is going to become an adverb. So not and readily go together to describe agree. Good job. What about, let's jump down to subject verb pairs because I like to do that next so everything's labeled. So Grayson, what about can you do both subject verb?
Did.
Did is a verb, yes.
Agree.
Good. There's one more in there. It's a helping, actually it's a linking verb.
Was.
Yes, very good. So who are the verbs that are doing, who are the verbs? Who are the subjects? That's what I mean.
Thrashing and stranger.
Okay, stranger is a subject, but actually who is going to be the subject for was? Remember that whenever you have a who which clause, the who or the which is the subject. Does that make sense, Grayson? Okay. So now that we got all the subject verb pairs, JC, where's the who which clause?
Who was still annoyed because of his unjust harsh thrashing.
Yes, good. It's a long one. You're right. W/W there. And then the main clause, Grayson, where's the main clause? And this one is going to include the who which clause. Uh-oh, did you freeze, Grayson? Uh-oh. It's connecting. There you are. That was weird.
Yeah, just like cut out. Who was still annoyed because of his unjust harsh thrashing did not readily agree.
It's actually going to be the whole thing that we need to include stranger for the main clause. So it's going to start here and it's actually going to go to all the way to the end. And if you take out the who clause, which you can, it would say the stranger did not readily agree. That's the main clause. That's actually the main clause right there, both of those sides, but we include the who, which clause because it's in the middle. All right. What about the prepositional phrase, JC?
Because of his unjust harsh thrashing.
Yes, good. And since we have of, as you guys know, it's not a because clause anymore because we have because of, that's a prepositional phrase. Very good. And then the opener, what kind of an opener is this, Grayson?
A subject opener?
Yes, which is a number what?
1.
Good. One subject. Okay, good. We got that list done. Indent, that's easy. That just goes here at the beginning. Capital, that's easy. That's the first word. All right, we have comma now. JC, where does that comma go? We're going to put one in somewhere. Think about the lesson we learned today about the adjectives. So when you have two adjectives in a row that are coordinate adjectives, we need a comma between.
Does it go between unjust?
Yes, unjust and harsh right there. Because remember the two tests, can you reverse it? Does it still sound okay if we say his harsh, unjust thrashing? That sounds okay. And can you put and between his unjust and harsh? Yeah, it passes the test. So you will put a comma in between those. So just a clue for you guys this week only, just this week, your adjectives are going to have commas between. Starting next week, then you have to decide, is it coordinate or is it cumulative? So that's going to be a little trickier next week. And then an end mark here, just a period, and that's it. Very good, you guys. Nice job. Done with grammar for today. Your homework is the next 3 pages like usual. Going back, because I know you guys worked on test practice last week and we didn't do grammar. And so now we're just going to pick it up again, keep going in grammar like we normally do. This week's going to be a regular week for us, okay? Before you wrote about the penny, I think you guys wrote about the penny, huh? I remember that for your practice. Let me look at that really quick. I'm just looking it up really quick while you guys are there. For some reason, my internet is not wanting to cooperate. Oh, there it is. It was just asleep for a second. Oh, no, not the penny. That was a different class. You guys wrote about sleeping and napping, or you were working on that. Some of you didn't get to turn it in. That's okay. That's all right. But you're done with the test. That's all that matters. We're moving on. Before you wrote about napping and sleeping, you finished up 2 articles, two paragraphs about Amelia Earhart. Roman numerals 2 and 3 of Amelia Earhart. That's what you worked on before we practiced for the test. I'm just looking back on your, so we're moving on. And sorry, I just needed to kind of check my notes really quick, but did you guys pick a person in history to do some research on? Did you guys remember to do that? Good, JC's nodding. Did you do that, Grayson?
I haven't found the sources yet, but I did pick someone.
Okay, you haven't found the sources yet. Who did you pick?
I'm going to pick George Washington.
That's a good one. There's a lot of information about George Washington. I like that. And who did you pick, JC?
I picked Cleopatra.
Oh, Cleopatra. That's going to be interesting too. Do you know much about Cleopatra? No, good. That'll be interesting because you can learn about Cleopatra as you actually read the articles and find information. Were you able to find articles too, JC? Yes, good. And did you get to print them for today? Good. Okay. So Grayson, do you know how to use the computer while you're on Zoom? You've ever done that before?
No, but the printer's connected to my mom's computer.
Oh, okay.
I could just go get that and find something and print it.
Oh, yeah. She's not using the computer right now?
No, she's at work.
Is it a laptop?
No, well, yeah, it's a laptop, but it's like a weird one, like folds.
I mean, is it one that you could go get and put it next to you right now and use
Yeah.
it? Okay, go ahead and go get that. We'll wait for you. So, while Grayson's doing that, you're just gonna put away Amelia Earhart because we're just gonna stop on that paper. And that was week 15, so you can put that away in your finished binder folder because we're done with that one. That's week 15. And then go ahead and get out week 16 from the front of your binder under source text tab. Week 16 is a historical person of choice. It's really only 3 pages. And you do need, if you have any more of the big white paper in the back of your binder, get one of those out too. But if you don't have any more of that, you can use regular like printer paper. So you need week 16 called historical person of choice and a big white paper if you have it, or a smaller printer paper if you only have that, either way. Okay. Did you guys both get out week 16 and white paper? Give me a thumbs up if you got that out. Okay, good. Okay, good. And were you able to get the computer, Grayson? Looks like you're setting it up right there. Okay, perfect. Awesome. We're in business now. Go ahead and let's get your white page set up and ready. This week, we'll double check here. You're writing 2 paragraphs this week about this person in history. So I'm going to help you get it ready for that. Let me get my paper too. Let's go ahead and set up the white paper. You guys know how to fold it. We're going to do the taco fold first, like this. That. And then in thirds, so past the halfway mark, like that. And the other side, I know yours is small, JC, but you know how to write pretty small, so it's going to be fine. Just get it to where you have 6 boxes to work with. So your goal is to find 3 sources. So we're going to work on that in a minute, but we want to set up your keyword outline so you're ready to go for that. So we're just going to put A, B, and C in the top 3 boxes here because you're going to have 3 sources. Under A, B, and C, we're going to do Roman numeral 1 first, 1 through 5. And 4 and 5 are optional. Okay, so you can put parentheses around those. Same thing under B. It's going to take a minute to get this all set up. That's okay. Once you get it set up, it's so much easier to organize everything. Same thing for C, Roman numeral 1, 1 through 5. You guys are good at these, so. Fused, outline, This one's going to be Roman numeral 1. This one's going to be 1 through 7, but 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be optional, okay? You have to have at least 6. 7 is optional, and then we're going to write that word clincher down below that. I'll give you a second to get that set up. So we're still in Unit 6, which is summarizing multiple references. That's what we're working on again. Multiple references just means you have multiple sources. You're going to have 3 different articles that you find. I'll help you, Grayson, find some good articles. National Geographic is going to be a great one. Britannica is going to be another great one. And then the third one might be a little bit different. It might be Ducksters, or it might be another website that has historical information about George Washington. But you're going to have lots of choices because George Washington is very famous. And there's a lot of information about him. As you guys do research online, you might notice that sometimes when you go to a certain website, there's a lot of pop-ups, what we call pop-ups, where there's ads that come up. Sometimes the ads are weird, like lose 200 pounds in 24 hours or something like that, which is like, what? So if ever you see those pop-ups that are random stuff like that, that's not a good site to go to, because that means that there's a lot of ads that pay for those sites. And you want to stay away from those sites that have a lot of pop-ups. And by the way, because you guys are young still, you're learning how to research online, make sure you sit down with a parent or a grown-up, someone who can help you kind of sift through some of those things, okay? You want to look for websites that don't have all the pop-ups and weird things with them. So I put this in the homework last week. A great way to do that is to put for kids after your search. So if you're looking at George Washington, you could type in Google all about George Washington for kids. That takes away a lot of those pop-ups, so you don't even have to see them. Okay, so that'll help you just kind of get down to what's good to look at as you're searching on Google. Next to next to fused outline, under C, we're going to put possible topics here. And then underneath A, in this empty box over here, I want you to put, move over to the side a little bit. Let's put steps to writing only one T in writing. A summary. Steps to writing summary. Number 1, you need to know what your subject is always, right? Before you start writing any paper, you got to know what your subject is. What are you writing about? So you got to know what your subject is. Your subject is your person in history. So JC's going to write about Cleopatra. Grayson's going to write about George Washington. Who remembers what the next step is? Once we know what your subject is and you have your resources, do you remember what we do next? JC?
Do we talk about
It's actually going to be this part here. We have to find your possible topics. That's the next part. That's probably what you were thinking. Your mind was getting there. Yeah. So we need to list possible topics. But you're right. You got to find out. I think what you were going to say was find out what's in the articles, right? Because you have them. You got to start reading them and find out what is it about. So you're going to find out information about who Cleopatra was, and information about the childhood and her past and early life and influence and what she did that would made her famous, those kinds of things. So you need to be able to list possible topics. And then do you remember the next step after you list the topics? You guys remember what's next? Grayson, do you remember? Go ahead.
Make your keyword outline.
Close. You have to pick one, right? You have to choose a topic. So really, the next step is to choose a topic. And then you're right. Number 4 is the keyword outline plus fused, right? That's when you start, after you choose a topic, then you start filling out your keyword outline, looking for facts in each article under A, B, and C. Then you make your fused. And then after you have your fused finished, what's the last thing you're going to do? JC?
Write your paragraphs.
Yes, very good. Right? Paragraph. So this is like each paragraph. So you know your subject, you're going to list your possible topics, choose a topic, do your keyword outline infused, write your paragraph. And 3, 4, and 5, you're going to repeat for each paragraph. So you're going to go back up to 3, choose another topic, write another keyword outline infused, and then write a paragraph. And then repeat again. If you need a third paragraph, choose a third topic, write a keyword outline infused, write your paragraph. That's the pattern. Just wanted to review that with you guys. All right, so we got Roman numeral 1 set up. Let's flip it over and let's set up Roman numeral 2 just so we're good and ready for this whole thing here for this week. On the back is Roman numeral 2. A, B, and C. And then fused outline. Roman numeral 2 is going to be 1 through 7. And 7 is optional. So I'm going to put parentheses around that one and then that word puncher. And that's all we need on the back. Okay, so we got Roman numeral 1 ready to go and Roman numeral 2 ready to go. Like I said, this week you're just doing 2 paragraphs. Okay, thumbs up when you got that set up. Good. Awesome. Hey. All right, so it looks like, Grayson, you got your mom's computer going? Okay, good. And JC, since you already have yours printed, go ahead and decide which article you want to choose as A and B and C, and go ahead and mark it at the top with a box around it. By the way, did you happen to staple together your articles like each set? Okay, good. So you decide which one you want to call A, B, and C and label those. And then for Grayson, go ahead and go to Google on your mom's computer. Type in the Google bar, the search bar, all about George Washington for kids. Okay.
I found one on National Geographic Kids.
Okay, good. So, do you know how to print that?
Yeah, I printed it. It's
Okay, good. So you're ahead of me.
in my kitchen.
It's in the kitchen?
Yeah, on the floor.
Oh, on the floor. Maybe you should go get it. You want to go get it? And then if you have a stapler, go ahead and staple it together, okay? I do that too. Sometimes I forget to open the tray and it just like flies all over the room. Okay. So, and let me go back to this page here. As far as possible topics, oh, here comes Bryce. Get him in. when you're writing about a person in history, you want to always start with their early life. So go ahead and write early life under possible topics because especially when they're somebody who's already died, we need context to know when they lived. Because some people might have lived recently, but like George Washington and Cleopatra both lived, centuries ago. So it's important to give context to when they lived. So early life is going to be a great topic to start with. Other possible topics could be their accomplishments, their careers, their like with Cleopatra, the influence in the world that she had. I don't know much about Cleopatra, actually. I need to look her up really quick. Do you know anything about, I know she was in Egypt. She was the queen, right? JC? Yeah. So maybe I think she had, and by the way, she's more than centuries ago. She was before Christ, way back. So she had an impact on the world even way back then. So those are the kinds of things you're going to look for as you look through your articles. So Grayson, go ahead and see if you see one for Britannica too. That's another great site to use.
Mhm.
And then you can try to print that one. And Bryce, I see you're in here. Can you hear me okay, Bryce?
Yes.
Okay, can you turn your camera on? I saw you log in like in my other class. Were you mixed up on the time for class?
Yes, I was.
Because I saw you come in super early and then you left. And then anyway, you're a little late, but we can catch you up, okay? Um, I recorded this, so you'll want to go back and watch the beginning part of this. But let me ask you this, Bryce. Did you pick a person in history already?
No, I did not.
Okay. So that was part of your homework to choose a person in history and to find articles about that person. So you're going to have some catching up to do, but go ahead and get out week 16 from your binder under source text tab. And you're going to need a large piece of white paper. Okay. So go ahead and get those out and then I'll help you with the next step. Grayson, did you find Britannica?
That was my question. What was it called? But
Oh, Britannica. So it's if you look under your Google search, you should see it though. Let me pull it up for you so you can see what I mean. Um, okay. National Geographic. Okay, if you scroll down, do you see Britannica Kids on there?
mm-mm.
Okay, so let me share what I'm looking at. And for you, JC, you can start making your possible topics list by kind of flipping through the articles that you have printed. A lot of times you can see it like a subheading in bold. Those are good ideas for possible topics or looking for things about her life, like why was she important? And maybe see if you can find some stuff. I'm going to ask you more in just a minute, but just kind of flip through your articles and see if you can find possible topics in there. And then Gracie, I saw your hand again.
Yeah, I found Britannica.com.
Okay, does it look like this when you look up on your Google? Does it look like
Well, my
Britannica?
mom's computer doesn't have Google. It has like,
Oh,
I don't know what it is.
so you're on Britannica.com. That'll work. Let me go there with you.
No, I found Britannica Kids. That's why though.
Oh, perfect. And did you find the article about George Washington?
Not yet.
So when you go to Britannica Kids, let me go there with you. Britannica. Did I spell it right?
A $1 bill.
He is
That
on the bill.
goes to a bunch of YouTube videos.
Yeah, there are some YouTube videos, and those would be okay to watch, but I want you to go to the actual article. So, oh, it's called Kids.Britannica. Is that where you're at? Kids.Britannica.com. That's the website. So see if you can find it that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
Kids.Britannica.com. And Bryce, are you still working on setting up your white page? He's working on that.
That's not it. That's not it. Britannica.
Do you know how to go to that search bar at the very top right there?
Yeah.
It's not coming up for you. And Bryce, by the way, while you're getting your outline set up and everything, I want you to be thinking of a person in history. It has to be someone famous that's already dead, not somebody living. So try to think back on somebody you might be interested in. It could be athlete, astronaut, actor, actress, president, someone who has influence and who you can find a lot of information on. So think about that. If you think of somebody, you can put it in the chat for me. Somebody you might be interested. If you're interested in art, think about an artist maybe, or
Walmart.
So what are you finding there, Grayson?
Walmart, education.com, and Factoids, and Simply.
Does it have a search bar like this at the top? You see where mine is right here? The very top, tippy top.
Yeah.
Did you try doing what's like in my search bar where it says kids.britannica.com? Try
Okay.
typing it way up there, not in the Google. I know you said you didn't have Google anyway, but go to the very, very tippy top.
Okay. Kids. You mean like the search the web?
Yeah, search the web. Kids, make sure you put kids in there. Kids.britannica.com.
Kids.
And there's 2 N's in Britannica, by the way. See if that works. Bryce, did you think of someone in history? No? Okay. Are you interested in sports or movies or books or maybe politics? Is there something I want to help you think of somebody because you're going to need to figure that out. It could be technology. There's some people in the past that were into technology. So I want you to pick somebody that you're interested in. And then while you're thinking, JC, were you able to find some possible topics in there? What did you find? What topics did you find?
All right, so I put becoming queen, marriage, child, and death. Those were like the only topics I could really find.
Okay, good. And maybe influence. I bet it might go with like becoming queen because she did have a big impact on Egypt and the world, really. So you could put influence/impact maybe and use that as a topic. But since you've got it going already, go ahead and look to make sure A, B, and C all talk about her early life. So were you able to find her early life, like when she was born and where she lived in each article? How's it going, Grayson? Did you find it?
It brought me to kids.britannica.com coupon code.
Coupon
And then
code.
it went to Pizza Hut, Subway, Walmart, PetSmart, and Amazon.
Never mind. You're gonna have to figure that out later with your mom, okay? For some reason, that computer just wants you to take you to ads, so you don't want to go there. So use the one you did print, which was
Okay.
National Geographic. Let's just stick to that one for now. Okay, Bryce, I see your note. Martin Luther King Jr. That's perfect. That's perfect. Good. Now, do you know how to minimize the Zoom call, Bryce, and bring up your Google during class? Do you know how to do that?
I can just alt tab.
Yeah, you can. Or you can escape. That's how I do it. Hit escape, and then you can find your Google search. And you want to type in there all about Martin Luther King Jr. for kids. Make sure you add for kids because sometimes it takes you to weird sites. So you want to make sure if you add for kids, then it'll be more of a safer search for you. Okay. Look for two things, National Geographic and Britannica kids, and pull those up. And do you have a way to print from the computer you're on right now?
Probably not.
Okay, so at least pull it up on your screen. You'll have to print it later, okay? So you can save the bookmark. You know how to do that. And then Grayson, on your article from National Geographic, do you see a section that talks about his early life?
Yeah, but I also find Britannica Kids.
You found it.
I found it on my computer by popping out.
So are you printing it?
I don't know how to get to the George Washington part.
So there should be, okay, so did it look like mine here?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me share mine. And then JC, you can start working on your early life. Were you able to find early life in A, B, and C? Okay, good. So you can start looking for some keywords to put on your outline for Roman numeral 1.
I found it.
Roman numeral 1, you could put Cleopatra, comma, early life, and then start finding some facts under each article. Okay, did your mom come and help you find it? Or whoever that was, did they help you, Grayson?
No, that was my sister.
Okay, so there should be if you scroll down a little bit on this website, you see how there's a search bar right here?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can actually go over to the tab that says students. That'll be more for your grade. So click on students, and then you can type in George Washington here.
Is there a specific site you want me to look for?
Yeah, I want you to go to Google first. It's easier to just click on the sites they list there, but I want you to type in Martin Luther King Jr. or all about Martin Luther King Jr. for kids. Type that in. And then you should see National Geographic is one and Britannica is the other one. Do you see those on there?
Can you send me the link to the site?
Yep, I sure can. Do that. Put it in the chat right here. There's one. Did you find that one, Grayson?
Yeah.
See if you can print it.
I can't find one. The closest one they have is Jubal A. Early.
Okay, hold on. And there's another website. Okay, Bryce, I sent you two, so you can check those out. Okay, let me go back. So you went to students, right?
Mm-hmm. I found one, but I'm looking for early life.
Oh, so you typed in George Washington right there?
Yeah. Oh, I found it.
Okay, good. So pretty much all of these different articles in here will be good. You might, I mean, that first one is probably, I see. So if you click on it, you can open it up. Now, let me tell you this, Grayson. It's going to ask you to pay to print it. So there's a way around that. If you,
Yeah,
yeah, because some of this is locked, I'm noticing. Don't click start free trial because I don't want you to get stuck on paying something. Let's see. Are you on the same computer that you're on the Zoom with right now?
yeah.
Okay. I'm going to help you find something else here. I'm going to send you a link in the chat. If you click on the link in the chat, it'll take you right to a different website that you can print. This is for Grayson, okay? You see that in the chat there? It's called Dexter's.
Yeah, I'll look at that.
This one's going to be a better one for you to print. So this is a good one. And by the way, Bryce, Dexter's is going to be good for you too. So let me find one for you too.
Washington.
Ah. And this is for you, Bryce. I just put one in the chat called Dexter's. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Go to that page I put in the link, and then you can print that article. If you can print from the computer, go ahead and print it. If you can't print from the computer, you're going to have to get help from your parent later. This is a good one that kind of talks about where did Martin grow up? This would be good for his early life. So you can start working on this one if you want to call this Article A. Then you can start filling out your keyword outline. Does that make sense, Bryce? Okay, good. One of your topics could be the I have a dream speech for you, Bryce. That would be a good topic to write about, a whole paragraph about. So for you, Bryce, I know you came in a little late, but I want to show you on your white page under C, this is where we have the possible topics. So this is where you're going to look for it in those articles about Martin Luther King. His early life is a good one. And then maybe he had a lot of trials in his life, right? He got involved in politics. And then the I have a dream speech, things like that. You're going to look for it in the articles to find possible topics for your paragraphs. This week, you're going to write 2 paragraphs. And it looks like JC's working away. That's good. Good job, JC. And then Grayson, are you able to find anything?
Britannica, no.
How about Ducksters? Did you try that one?
I'm trying it on my mom's computer.
Did you try clicking on it though in the chat? Because you could probably find it on your computer.
Yeah, but then I have to like send it to this computer to print it.
Oh, let me see. Okay, hold on. Ducksters. What if you just went to ducksters.com? Try that on your mom's computer. It's Ducksters, ducksters.com. See if you can get to that site. That's a good site for kids to search stuff. DUCK duck, and then sters is STERS.com.
Is it like a curriculum thing?
It should look like this. Let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. I don't think it's a curriculum thing. It looks like this. You see little ducks. It's called Ducksters.
Oh.
There's cute little ducks at the top. DUCKSTERS.com. And you can go to this one too, Bryce. I think I sent you one from this one too.
I wish my mom's computer had Google.
Yeah.
It's more easier.
At the very top bar, that's where you would put it. If you can't find it, Grayson, I think you should just move on and just use the one you did print. At least use that.
Okay.
Then you can get started at least. Bryce, were you able to find articles about Martin Luther King Jr.?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I know you're not able to print, so you're going to have to keep track, maybe have them opened in different tabs. Is that how you have it?
Yeah.
Perfect. So just in your mind, you're going to have to decide which one is A, B, and C, and go ahead and start by scrolling through those articles and find a section that talks about his early life, like where he was born, when he was born, things like that. And you're going to start filling out Roman numeral 1, okay, on your outline. Key facts from that, keyword. Okay, Grayson, I think you should just use the National Geographic one for now. Okay, and then maybe your sister or somebody else can help you later with the other articles. So looking at the National Geographic, do you see a section that talks about his early life for George Washington?
Yeah, that's all I printed.
That's all you printed? Okay. So go ahead and at least get started on your Roman numeral 1 right here under A. We'll just call your National Geographic A. And you're going to put George Washington right here by the Roman numeral. George Washington early life, okay?
Okay.
And then start finding some facts about his early life, like when he was born, where he was born, maybe about his siblings, who was in his family. And you're going to do the same thing, Bryce. You're going to put, you could just put MLK here and early life, and then start finding some key words about his early life and filling in your outline here. Okay. So JC, how's yours coming? Which one are you working on right now?
I'm working on C.
Awesome. Good. So what are you finding so far? Tell me some of the key facts that you're learning so far.
Do you mean like the keywords that I wrote down?
That's what I mean. Yeah, the keywords. Yeah.
So I put Cleo for short for Cleopatra. Cleo born 70 or 69 BC, Greek heritage culture, belonged Ptolemy, I think that's how you pronounce it, line of rulers. And then for B, I put smart, cunning growing up, father's favorite child, learned about country, Ptolemy dynasty established, A the Great, A for Alexander.
Yeah.
Cleo
Okay.
grew up reading and speaking Greek. and then I'm working on C right now.
Wow, this is cool. Good job, JC. You're doing great. That's awesome. You can keep going. I can't wait to hear what you write about. It's going to be really interesting. Okay, what are you working on right now, Bryce?
I'm just looking at the topics so I can figure out which one I want to write first.
Okay. So since it's about a person, everybody's going to start with early life. So you can just choose that topic first. And then for your second paragraph, though, you can pick whatever topic you want to write about. So you're going to write 2 paragraphs this week, okay?
Okay.
So one's going to be about the early life, and then the second paragraph can be about whatever you want to write about that person. All right, you guys, we're going to look at the checklist really quick before you go because I want to make sure you know everything that's on here. It's the same as it was when you were writing back with, who did you write about before? Amelia Earhart. There's nothing new on here, but you want to make sure in each paragraph, because you guys are going to do just 1 and 2 this week, okay? The first and the second paragraph only. And then you're going to make sure in each paragraph, you're going to include all of these dress ups and one opener, the prepositional opener. And then be careful not to use any banned words, but make sure you use your checklist when you get to that point when your fused outline is all finished and you're ready to write your paragraph. Make sure you have this with you so you can make sure to include that. Okay, so it sounds like JC's ready with her 3 sources. So Bryce and Grayson, that's going to be your job first. Getting help with finding sources and printing them. You need to have them printed so you can have them in front of you. And get some help with a grown-up with that as far as finding a reliable source and printing that. And then you're going to choose your first 2 topics, okay? One of them is going to be early life. And then the second topic can be whatever you want to pick for that. Any questions about that? What you guys are doing this week? No, you're good? All right, then that's it. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.